Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, no place for racism, says Prime Minister. Heavy rain expected across the country. And unreported sex-related crimes surface.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Those seeking to divide the nation will not succeed. Speaking on behalf of the Prime Minister in Nakasi last night, Attorney General Said Qayyum said the Constitution guarantees religious freedom and they are saddened with an escalation of religious vilification in the country. Ali Kimbia reports.
Speaking to a large crowd of Indo-Fijians at a Talanoa session, Attorney General Said Qayyum highlighted the Prime Minister's message, saying there are still old forces in Fiji that want to drag people back by dividing Fijians along ethnic, religious and communal lines.
Be wary of these people, people who think this way, people who remain silent in the face of division, will only take us back to the days of 1987 and the days of 2000, where race and religion was used to only bring some people power, and in the process, many people left Fiji, many people were discriminated against, and we lagged behind in development.
Said Qayyum says there are politicians, political parties and their supporters who either directly, publicly or privately add fuel to the fire of ethnicity and division.
I know that opposition politicians, political parties and their supporters are keeping quiet when people speak in divisive ways. They should be openly condemning such behavior. However, as we know, they like to divide people because they see their political fortunes in a divided Fiji.
Said Qayyum says all Fijians should condemn the divided way of thinking and speak up to confront forces of division.
There are places in the world where people live in fear of religious attacks and extremism, but not here in Fiji. We must not allow that to happen here.
Said Qayyum stated the government will take action against anyone responsible for creating any religious or ethnic differences. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has condemned in the harshest terms the spate of attacks and break-ins at places of worship. A Talanoa session was held at the Gopal Sadhu Hanuman Gandhi Temple in Nakasi last night, attended by Attorney General Said Qayyum, Police Commissioner Brigadier General Siti Veningilio, other government members and politicians. Ali Kimbia again with more.
The Prime Minister was unable to attend the meeting but stressed in his statement delivered by the Attorney General that acts of vandalism cannot be tolerated, particularly when they are being carried out in places of sacred importance to fellow Fijians.
I know many of you are on social media. You have Facebook and you've seen it for yourselves. Some people are trying to turn fellow Fijians against each other on the basis of Hindu against Muslim, one Christian denomination against another, Itauke against Indo-Fijian, North Indian against South Indian, Arya Samaj against Sanatan Dharam Sabha, this province against that province, this confederacy against another. None of that is right, and none of it is acceptable.
Bainimarama says he is saddened to see an escalation of religious vilification, and unfortunately it's even more widespread than the attacks on temples. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Siti Veningilio has confirmed they are working round the clock to take perpetrators to task.
I can confirm that there is a group of 4 men responsible for all the reports of break-ins in the Nakasi area and here as well, and we will not rest until they are all arrested.
Nakasi Temple member Vijay Nath claims there are many unreported cases.
And of course, the few other temples which were forced into, just like Korodiri Temple, they did not report. Budi Temple, just junction of Budi South and Budi Road, and of course, Waila Temple in Princess Road.
Bainimarama says acts of desecration at places of worship is unacceptable and Fijians need to move away from this backward thinking, otherwise we will never progress as a country. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The heavy rain alert that is now in force for Fiji will be upgraded to a heavy rain warning in the next 6 hours. The Fiji Meteorological Service confirms an active trough of low pressure with associated cloud, rain and thunderstorms to the west of Fiji is anticipated to move over the country. Sainiani Boila has the details.
As tropical cyclone Fehi weakens and goes south towards New Zealand, troughs associated with it is now emerging over the country.
To the west of Fiji it will be migrating eastwards, and those that are to the north of Fiji will be migrating southwards. So we expect more of a trough of low pressure still remaining over us Thursday, Friday and through the weekend.
The Fiji Met Office also confirms there is a high chance of rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters in 24 hours. And this could cause some flooding in low-lying areas.
So these are very high intensity rainfall, and this is where we are anticipating some localized heavy rainfalls to happen.
With the current heavy rain alert in place, the National Disaster Management Office has urged members of the public to take necessary precautions.
We are requesting those locating beside rivers and streams to monitor the situation, as the water levels may change very quickly. And also for the flood-prone municipalities in Rakiraki, Mba and Tava, which experienced a similar situation in the last few weeks, to also take the necessary precautions.
The Fiji Met Office has also confirmed that a tide of more than 2 meters is expected, which will further elevate the risk of flooding in low-lying areas. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Unreported cases of rape, attempted rape and other sex-related crimes that allegedly occurred 2 decades ago are now surfacing. According to Police Commissioner Brigadier General Siti Veningilio, people are coming forward to report these cases as they now have confidence in the justice system. Ana Ravulo reports.
A lot of reports of crimes were brought before the police last year that had allegedly occurred some years back. A case of indecent assault dated back to 1997.
In fact, 14% of the cases that were reported last year were committed outside the reporting period from 1st of January to 31st of December 2017. There were mainly sexual offences and rape, recording the highest of 169 cases.
Gilio says people are reporting these crimes as they trust the justice system.
This is indicative of the faith victims are having in the justice system and are coming forward to report these crimes. We do understand that there are others that remain unreported, and I urge anyone who is conflicted on whether to come forward or not, that you can call me directly so we can see justice prevail, as no one should get away with these heinous crimes.
Meanwhile, overall crime rates have reduced by 9% despite the many hurdles faced by the force. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
Permanent Secretary for Health and Medical Services Philip Davies has resigned effective immediately, citing personal reasons. This has been confirmed by Chair of Public Service Commission Vishnu Mohan. Cabinet Secretary Susan Kieran has been appointed the acting permanent secretary with the agreement of the Prime Minister. This appointment takes effect immediately. Kieran will continue to hold the office of Cabinet Secretary. Still to come, PAC questions Kinoya treatment plant costs and delay. And new facilities for Bar Correction Centre. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti kombinasyon mo tikola ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki yang gitu pinasibale, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
Cane farmers will continue to pay only $20 per 50 kilogram of fertilizer, with government continuing their grant assistance with the South Pacific Fertilizers Limited. Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Sugar, Yogesh Karan, says this is in addition to a weedicide grant which is being offered for the first time, allowing growers to pay only 45% of the cost of the 4 recommended weedicides for sugarcane fields. Maggie Boyle reports.
Cane farmers are expected to earn more cash from their crops with increased subsidies.
Of the reduced price, so they only pay $20, and the rest is subsidized by government for each bag of 50 kg. What we've seen that the statistics is very good, and the resultant would be better yield. That's what is expected.
Yogesh Karan says they've included new initiatives to ensure growth within the sector.
Increased in fertilizer subsidy and also the new initiative of the government to provide subsidy in weedicide, and we allocated $6.3 million. This is something very new in the new budget, so we expect better yield.
For the Growers Council, this incentive is also aimed at enticing new farmers.
Those growers who want to join the sugar industry, to encourage the new youth and the youth of the day to join the sugar industry. So there's tremendous support.
The sector is targeting the production of 2 million tonnes of sugar in their first harvest this season. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
A lot of concerns were raised on the construction and operation of the Kinoya treatment plant in Asinu by the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee members this morning. The project was scheduled to be completed within 4 months, but it took 2 lengthy years to finish. Rachel Nath reports.
The Office of the Attorney General today revealed the reasons behind the delay in the completion of the Kinoya treatment plant project.
Was supposed to make a payment of $40,181 to the contractor.
The project was delayed in several occasions. There were a lot of problems with this project. One of the main problems with the project was during the transition from PWD to Water Authority of Fiji.
The ongoing delays resulted in the Water Authority making a huge payment of $14.5 million to the consultant. But when questioned why, the authority could not provide answers.
Because none of us were there at that time, so it's very difficult to explain.
Once you step in the shoes, you bear everything. Otherwise, you'll be coming up with excuses all the time. This is investment.
Another concern for the treatment plant is that it is collecting residential and commercial waste from the entire Suvarnasori corridor.
Very difficult at the moment currently to treat all this waste that is coming from everybody. Our systems are overflowing.
Into what is you can channel this wastewaters to create a botanical garden.
After scrutinizing the anomalies in the accounts, the Water Authority has been urged to properly plan its projects in the future. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
6,000 households are expected to benefit from government's rural electrification projects, costing around $42.6 million. Of this, 2,213 households are from the Northern Division. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Government's ongoing rural electrification project initiative caters for the extension of the FEA grid to rural localities, house wiring connections, and the installation of new solar systems. Naberia in Savu is one of the rural communities to get a grid extension project assistance.
I've been residing here for the past 18 years. There was no electricity, but we received the electricity just 3 months ago.
The Naveria Grid Extension project cost around $73,000. It allows the 105 individuals from 20 households in the settlement to now have regular 24 hours electricity service.
With power comes responsibility, and I would encourage the village and the settlement to develop a proper maintenance program so that investment in the grid extension system is sustainable and lasting.
The project is mostly benefiting students who are living in this rural settlement just outside of Savu town.
They stay at home and they study at home. The light is there, and that has made them great. And their performance will be good at school, much better than before.
Government plans to get everyone, including those in the rural and maritime islands, have access to electricity by 2021. Currently, about 90% of the population have access to electricity. Eleanor Turangibiu, FBC News.
The newly refurbished kitchen, dining hall and multi-purpose hall at the Bar Correction Centre was officially opened today. Felipe Naikaso reports these facilities were badly damaged during TC Winston in 2016.
Around $600,000 has been spent on the refurbishment of these facilities.
Very grateful to government for the funding that they provided, $674,000 to complete this wonderful project and premises, which I'm sure the inmates will enjoy, with the peace and quiet and the bit spacious, modern facility.
The new facilities will not only benefit the inmates, but the staff as well.
But the multi-purpose hall at the bottom, as you notice, is a double-story building. Will serve as a training room where we conduct our rehabilitation training for inmates and also for some in-house training for our staff here at the Bar Correctional Centre.
The government aims to improve other correction centres around the country.
It's not just about the conditions in the incarceration, during the incarceration period, but it's also about ensuring that when they are incarcerated, that we provide them an environment that is conducive for them to be able to realize their self-worth, to be able to understand that we are treating them with dignity.
There are currently 35 inmates at the Bar Correction Centre. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
A rare event will occur tonight. A so-called blue moon is the second full moon to occur in a calendar month, and tonight's the second full moon of January. But to top it all, there will be a total eclipse of the blue moon, which will turn the moon to a reddish brown. Kelly Vadala reports.
USB Physics Lab technician Neil Singh gives us the details on when the eclipse will take place.
It'll start at 22:51, which is 10:51 p.m. at night, and the maximum magnitude brightness will be seen at 1:29 a.m. in the morning tomorrow. That's 1st February. And it ends tomorrow, 1st February, at 8 minutes past 4 in the morning. So the total duration of this lunar eclipse will be 5 hours and 17 minutes.
Many Fijians say they will stay up late tonight to see the eclipse with their families and friends.
It's a good idea to see, to sit up and watch, because they don't come, all the time, once in a while.
I would stay awake tonight because it comes once in a blue moon. I'll stay up tonight to see the moon.
So if you're up at 1:30 tomorrow morning and the sky is clear, take a look at the eclipse of the moon. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, names of players heading for Commonwealth Games to be known next week. But we now join Rachel for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. New Digicel CEO outlines future plans. And in growing Fiji, 84 new bus shelters to be constructed. Stay with us.
Moala rarara lika au tikongona tauna singatoka andou talitaka na wakaronga na Bull FM number 2 na sere
ya dora subuli kurna bili iborani batukara hambara binanga do talitakina na wakaronga na Bull FM number 2 na sere
Bull FM number 2 na sere.
In business tonight, Digicel Fiji's new chief executive, Mike Gregg, says they want to engage more people, especially those living in the rural areas, and further improve their network. Gregg says they want to be considered as a data network provider. Digicel Fiji will be working on upgrading its networks, improving customer service, and providing more value for their plans.
Network is now a lot faster, and we have more capacity. So we're giving our customers a better deal on the network side as well, and we're rolling that out throughout Fiji to all the other urban areas throughout Fiji. We've spent a lot of money. I'm not going to tell you how much, but I'll tell you it's a lot. And the reason we're doing that is we want to bring the very best technology we can to Fiji.
And we now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the financial market.
Thank you. Looking at the market today, Australia's annualized consumer price index was released at 1.9% versus 2% forecast. It failed to meet market expectations, showing little expansion of economic growth and a weaker Australian dollar for a Fijian importers. Foreign exchange traders are cautious ahead of scheduled events this week. They include a 2-day monetary policy meeting and U.S. jobs report on Friday. That will include data on non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. Later tonight, we will have the United States federal interest rate announcement. Expectation is the rate will remain the same at 1.5%. Meanwhile, the Eurozone 2 will release its consumer price index overnight. And that's all for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Rocco. Looking at today's current exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The Fiji dollar fell against most of the currencies we cover, gaining only against the Australian dollar and slipped slightly against rest due to the current effects of the fluctuating US dollar on the world exchange rates. As for the commodities market, oil prices continue to decline, closing at $63.87 a barrel. Gold dropped for the third day in a row, down slightly at $13.38.71 per ounce, and silver was up at $17.15 an ounce. And in Fiji tonight, the Fiji Roads Authority will construct 84 bus shelters within the next 7 months. Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says this will provide bus commuters better accessibility and comfort. Moore says priority has been given to areas in front of schools and health centres. The new shelter have a Category 4 certification and is designed to withstand cyclones. The 2 local contractors have been engaged to install the shelters. Meanwhile, the FRA has raised concerns on the act of vandalism on its road assets. The public is urged to be vigilant and report all incidents of vandalism to the police. And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Ahead in sports, FNRL and Vodafone pen $4 million sponsorship deal. And Fiji Yachting hope to secure more funding for development. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम। हमें स्पिन तक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
The Fiji National Rugby League today signed a $4 million sponsorship deal with Vodafone Fiji. The 4-year deal stretches Vodafone's commitment to the sport for a record 15 years. Under the agreement, the mobile company will sponsor 4 rugby league teams and a competition, which includes a team from primary and secondary school, the Fiji Mbati side, plus the National Club Championship.
We have been in 3 consecutive World Cups, so that speaks a lot of the potential that rugby league has, to win a world title.
Team Fiji's head of delegation to the 2018 Commonwealth Games, Patrick Bauer, is urging all sporting federations to submit their final list of athletes before the due date next Wednesday. Bauer confirmed at a press conference this morning that all 10 federations were yet to hand in their lists. Meli Tavanga reports.
The chief of the mission is expecting all the submissions will be in time.
We're coming very close to the closure of entries in the name of submission. In other words, the submission of names for the Commonwealth Games. This will be February the 7th, and then on the 22nd of February, the approval will be given by the Executive Committee, which will then be forwarded to the SJC, and then furthermore down the line, the athletes have the choice of making an appeal.
Bauer says they're working tirelessly to ensure all the background work is sorted to make the journey a smooth one for the Fiji contingent.
What must be remembered by the national federations because of the level of competition, they really need to work hard in their preparations to see that the athletes are adequately prepared for the Games.
Meanwhile, a majority of our national athletes have gone overseas to prepare themselves for the April Games.
Table tennis is actually in Melbourne, and they've got actually one of the young boys, Vicky Wu, who's actually just came back from Melbourne and was selected to attend the Elevate High Performance Centre in January.
The Commonwealth Games run from the 4th to the 15th of April in Gold Coast, Australia. Melita Banga, FBC Sports.
In a bid to groom competitive sailors, the Fiji Yachting Association will request an increased budget from government in the next financial year. The association says they received a generous amount in this year's budget, but will need more funding to facilitate other plans. Melita Vanga with the details.
The Fiji Yachting Association has further plans to develop the sport in the country.
Ancillary costs for our coach. We would like to have additional funding beyond that, and we've applied to, first of all, to extend our funding beyond the initial 3 years. We can already see that there's going to be a need to keep doing this through the next 10 years or so.
Secretary Neville Coop says their sailors need proper equipment to help them prepare for international competitions.
We're looking at ways that we can supplement not just the salary of the coach, but also the resources he needs in terms of the support materials, training facilities. We need more small power boats to run around to follow the children when they're learning to sail.
National coach Emmanuel Jamado says proper facilities will help sailors increase their standards.
And here only training 3-4 boat, and it's very different sailing with 3-4 boat, and when you go to other country for the important championship, you sailing with the 100 boat together. For this we need sailing outside. We need to find more competition for more level.
The association received around $80,000, which covers their salaries and other expenses. Melita Wanga, FBC Sports.
Captains of the 16 men's sevens teams in New Zealand for the Hamilton tournament got together last night at Hobbiton, a rural movie set used for the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit film series. Weightlifting Fiji coach Joe Voeti and 4 lifters are attending a week-long training in New Caledonia. The 4 lifters are Polinia Vaivai, Manueli Tulo, Poa Manganga and Taniela Renimbongi. They are training with Eileen Vikamatana and other top weightlifters from around the region at the Weightlifting Institute under the guidance of Paul Koffa in Numea.
Right in the institute right now, there's 42 Vanuatu. Those medalists, the gold medalists that are actually training there too and will be competing, they've gone through a special camp at the Oceania Weightlifting Institute. This is actually being paid up by the International Weightlifting Federation.
Former England captain David Beckham says launching a new football team in Miami is a dream come true. The 42-year-old former Manchester United, Real Madrid and LA Galaxy legend has just announced his new career as a Major League Soccer team owner after he was given permission by Miami. That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather and a new media. A look at the top 5 most breakable phones. That's coming up.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and ndo moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti kombinasyon mo tikola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina ndo moi viti.
Ya kuyazo silitale, na gurara mai na omanyi, na ndonga. Gitu talita jiri ndo Venezuela na gudorongo. Varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na ndo moi viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na ndo moi viti na bonga ni BNN.
In New Media tonight, we look at the top 5 most breakable phones. Weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. A very rainy day across the nation, not forgetting the company of thunderstorms. Do note, a heavy rain warning is now in force for Yasawa and Mamanuca Group, Viti Level 1, Level Lau and Lomai Viti Group. Checking out the west for today. Conditions were mostly cloudy with showers indicated for later tonight. Eastwards from Pakhavarasuva, a day full of showers and thunderstorms. More rain are on their way for later tonight. And up north, quite cloudy with showers likely as well. At sea, northwest to northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide tomorrow morning will be at 7:03 with low tide at 1. Sunrise will be at 5:53. For tomorrow, it's not looking that good. Extreme showers can be expected around the nation, so keep and drive safe. Tomorrow's temps, the majority of the centers will be cool. And looking further on to Friday, more wet conditions with gusty winds are likely. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, what more needs to be done to protect our coastal areas?
I think we should avoid dumping our rubbish in coastal areas, especially the dumping of diapers. This will enable us to protect our oceans and the marine organisms around it.
What I think people should do is not litter and also listen to the advice given by experts on these areas.
Never mind, we say that long sandy beaches of Fiji, if you don't change your mindset towards keeping it safe, it will never be good.
Simple. Plant more trees, more mangroves.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, research shows a common ingredient of toothpaste could be developed to fight drug-resistant strains of malaria. Recapping the main stories, no place for racism, says Prime Minister. Heavy rain expected across the country and unreported sex-related crimes surface. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, will the Fiji Sevens team bounce back in Hamilton? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day. The pictures were sent in by Penichamini Ravonakula of Nandi. Our beautiful scenery and sandy beaches are major tourist attractions. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and the weightlifting.
Ayaw na rin siya. Commonwealth untuk sekolah untuk tali tak na radio Fiji 1 kena domili.
Kaya kuyazo sila tali. Nagurara may nawamanyi nandunga. Gitu tali tali yang gitu Venezuela pun nabuntu rongo. Barong na radio Fiji 1 nandung weightlifting.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandung weightlifting na ponga ni BNN.